welcome to my escape. So this morning I finished a book called Highest Bidder by Sarah Kate. It's the 5th in the Salacious Players Club, and I have very strong opinions and feelings about it. So I figured why not do a video on the whole series so far, because some of them I've loved and some of them I hated, and this last one, we'll get to it. The Salacious Players Club by Sarah Kate is a contemporary romance slash erotica. Books in the series are standalones, and the series follows 4 friends that all own a sex club together, and then each book follows a different one of these friends, and then the 5th book is like a little bit different and in the same world, so I'm just going to establish the world. So 4 friends, they own the sex club. They've also run like a kinky dating app kind of thing, and they're all deep into like the kink life and BDSM and some other stuff and everything, so you have all those aspects in there. So the first book, Praise, so good, 4 stars. But anyways, follows Emerson and Charlie, and it's ex's dad trope, which is my favorite. So Emerson has a fully grown son, and the son is dating this girl named Charlie. Charlie and Emerson have never met until after the son and Charlie break up, due to a certain circumstance. That was a very interesting way to meet somebody new, and a little bit of miscommunication, but it only lasted for about 4 pages, and then everything was cleared up, and then Charlie was like, tell me more about your lifestyle kind of thing. No spoilers. After that, Emerson is attracted to Charlie, but knows, maybe he shouldn't go for his son's ex. Him and his son are estranged, and he's trying to build that relationship back up, so he's like, I'll give Charlie a job, and that way it will entice Beau to come visit more often. I don't really understand the logic, but the tension that it then provided, lovely. So you have a boss employee thing going on, you have ex's dad going on, you have Dom sub going on, you have teach me how to do it kind of going on, because Charlie's never been involved in the lifestyle and she's just kind of figuring herself out and wants to learn more. And Emerson's like, well, I mean, if you insist, kind of thing. But the tension is absolutely there. They're both trying to fight it off, and they just can't get over it. Chef's kiss, beautiful. I love it. It's funny, it's hot, it's got good relations and connections with other people as well as just like the main couple, so it is well-rounded in that sense. And yes, I gave it 4 stars. I think I've reread it twice. It's like my 2nd favorite ex's dad trope book. I just love it. Highly recommend. And then we jump into book 2, which is Eyes on Me. And that one follows one of Emerson's best friends, another owner of this club named Garrett, and his stepsister, Mia, or Maya, but I'm gonna call her Mia. Yeah, it's one of those. If that's your thing, enjoy it. It's not mine. It's not my thing. But there's also an age gap in there, so they never really grew up in the same household because he was like already off to college when she moved in or something like that. But then he is like a voyeur, like that's his kink. He likes to watch. Well, Mia just happens to be a cam girl, and guess who stumbles across her feed one night? Yeah, her stepbrother. So that's fun. This one, it does get more into like mental health and does have kind of like a darker undertone in that sense. As much as I like that representation in books, I couldn't get over the step sibling thing and just the catfishing thing. I wasn't a big fan. I wasn't really for that one. Again, they were fleshed out characters. They did have their own lives going on. I wasn't rooting for them to get together. I did not like them together. I did not like the situation whatsoever, and I didn't really like the book at all. So that was a 2 star for me, but hey, to each their own. People don't understand how I read ex's dad trope, and I do it again and again and again and again. So if step sibling is your thing, you might love this one. Other people love it for sure, but for me, just wasn't it. Jumping into the 3rd one, Give Me More. Oh, I loved this one. This was another 4-star read for me. This follows Isabel, Hunter, and Drake, and it's a polyamorous situation. So Isabel and Hunter are married, and Drake and Hunter have been best friends since they were kids. So since the marriage and like Hunter and Isabel had been dating and everything, Drake was very much a part of their lives and a part of, not a part of their relationship, but he was kind of like always there. He was always like the 3rd wheel. I think they even brought him on their honeymoon. He's currently living with them while he's between places, all this kind of stuff. Hunter is technically one of the 4 that owns the club, but Drake is always at the club because he is the construction lead on the project because they're doing renovations and actually building the club. And then Hunter is tasked with going on a road trip to other sex clubs to kind of build up ideas and kind of get creativity flowing about what could be interesting and new to introduce to their club, different directions they could take it, just stuff like that, just kind of scoping out the competition. So of course he brings his best friend and his wife. Say less, and then they just have this great road trip. So I really loved it. There are kind of underlying themes of homophobia and like coming to terms with your own identity and your own sexuality. And there's also time apart, which is just another thing I love. And they're so freaking cute. I absolutely was dying for them to be together and to be happy, because I was like, I can't actually process this if you guys don't end up happy. I mean, it's a romance book, so they're all HEAs, but like, guys, I wanted it so bad. I wanted it so bad. They were so cute. I mean, they were hot, but like they were so cute, and I was obsessed with all of them. And the book did a really good job of establishing the connections between each of them and then establishing it as a group. So you did feel like that polyamorous commitment, but also the individual like attachment and attractions between them. Oh, they were just so cute. They were just so cute. So you also have like the friends to lovers in there, and then again they tour all these other sex clubs, so there's some other stuff going on. But yes, absolutely love, absolutely love. I'm here for a polyamorous relationship any day. Okay, and then we go into book 4, which is Mercy, which is Dad's best friend. So yeah. Maggie grew up in a very prudish community and prudish family, and she hasn't really been able to explore herself, and she kind of just went into the sex club more as a business investment and opportunity rather than the underlining, not even underlining, the main focus of like kinky sex. But, you know, through all this time, she has kind of wanted to explore things and kind of started to learn some stuff about herself, but she's not confident in exploring that. So Maggie is a dom, but she's trying to figure it out. She hops on the Salacious Player app. So there's a club, but there's also an app which matches people based off of the kinks you like put in there. Be like, oh, like you're a dom, you're looking for stuff. It's more specific than that, but like essentially that's the app. So she starts on this app and she starts talking to somebody, and they meet up, and you know, sexy times happen, and lo and behold, it's Emerson's son, Beau. Yes, from the first book. So Emerson's son that was dating Charlie, that son, Beau, now just had sex with his best friend, with his dad's best friend. That's a whole triangle pyramid thing of connection that's happening. But yeah, so Maggie and Beau now have this connection and they want to explore things, and Beau's just kind of coming into his own identity. Beau sucks in the first book. He sucks in the first book. And he absolutely hates his dad's lifestyle, and he won't talk about it, and he just like is very like ashamed, and he shames his father, and he doesn't tell his friends about it, and like he just very much like sucks. He just sucks. He also treats Charlie awfully and all this other stuff. So we're not a fan of Beau by the time we get to the 4th book. Beau is a brat. Shocking. But Beau's a brat, and Maggie's trying to figure out how to be a dom, but Beau's trying to also understand himself and kind of understand what this community is and see what his dad is actually a part of. So you think they'd be a good fit and all this other stuff, but of course there's like that hidden relationship, secret relationship thing going on. I mean, they pretty much all started off as secret relationships because they're all like taboo in a sense. Maybe not the 3rd one, but yeah. I didn't like this one. I gave this one 2 stars. Beau did not redeem himself for me. He still sucked at the end. Like, he still sucked. In this one, I found really no depth to the relationship. I found no depth to the characters. Aside from Maggie and Emerson, Maggie really didn't show any connection with anybody else at the club, which was weird because the books have been doing really well with like interlocking the characters and bringing one character from one story into this one in like a visiting role, or like you see them at a meeting or something like that. And while Mercy still did have that, it didn't have the underlying connections between the characters. It didn't actually show, I don't know, a real feeling or a real emotional connection between any of her friends or anything like that. She had this weird fixation on Emerson, who I get is like her best friend. To me, the whole thing felt like Maggie was trying to live her life with Emerson by just settling for the son, because Emerson was happily with Charlie. And it was weird. It was a weird feeling. I didn't like it. I didn't like Beau. Maggie was okay, but she was a very flat character. I needed more. I needed more from the story. I needed more from them. I just needed more. That was the original 4 of the planned series. And we're sitting pretty good. There was 2 of them that I rated 4 stars and loved, and there was 2 of them I rated 2 stars and did not love whatsoever. Then Sarah Kate announced that she was going to come out with 2 more books, and they were going to follow characters that weren't from the original friend group, but were still connected to the club. So throughout the first 4 books, you saw 2 characters, and I'll just get into the first one now. But you saw a older man, I wouldn't say significantly, but he's like 56 or something like that. And he frequents the club a lot, and he's like a billionaire romance. But he's a billionaire, and he's always at the club, and he's always dropping money on this, that, and the other thing, and he's just like apparently this hot old man. So the club is still involved, the other people are still like kind of there-ish, not as much as the first 4, but you follow now Ronan and Daisy. So it is a 35-year age gap or something like that, which is a lot. But also her mom's ex, which I couldn't shake that the whole book. I couldn't shake it. I'm sorry. I couldn't shake it. But we'll come back to that. So Daisy has lost her mother, so there's themes of like grief and dealing with grief in this. And she finds out that she has this huge savings account. And she's like with a significant like $9 million or something like that. And she's like, where did I get this money? And the name on the account is Ronan Cade. So she tracks down Ronan to Briar Point. She moves there. And she gets a job at the Salacious Players Club. And she starts waitressing just to like watch him and figure out like, who is this? Why do I not know him? Why did he leave me $9 million, etc., etc. And then something happens which kind of pushes them together. And then things kind of spiral from there. The primary kink in this one is a pleasure dom, they call it. So he like just likes to make her finish again and 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 again, and kind of just control all that. He's not much into the pain aspect of it, or the punishment aspect. However, Daisy does want to explore that side. So that was kind of interesting because in the first 4, all of the kinks aligned really, really well. Whereas this one, it kind of went like, she does obviously like the pleasure, but she wants the pain side of it as well, and he's not entirely comfortable giving that to her, so then how are they going to go about that? So that was kind of cool and interesting to see. I kind of wish they went into like more of that, but they didn't really. But like, okay, my biggest problem was I couldn't get over the fact that she went after a man she knew used to love her mom. She's just like, ugh! And then she would just say things, and she's like, I feel like so close to my mom now that we love the same man. And I was like, what did you actually just say? No, I didn't like it. I never got over that. And the rationalization behind it was just never good enough. I feel like you should love him in spite of, not kind of because. And they did something at the end to, I don't know how to say this without spoilers, but they did something that I normally like, but they did it so poorly that I was like, this was completely ineffective. I don't know what you just think you accomplished, but you literally accomplished nothing. So I wasn't crazy about that. And then it spiraled farther, and then I was like, you are not ready for this. You are absolutely not ready for this. You haven't grown, you haven't changed. Like, you're not ready. This is a bad idea. They were just like, oh, we're cured, and also, yay, on to bigger and better things. And I'm like, your future's not great. Hopefully that didn't spoil anything, because I really tried my best, but I needed that kind of off my chest because I finished it this morning. I pushed all the way through, and I gave it a 1 star. Speaking of coming next, so the 6th book, which I mentioned because she had her original 4 and then announced a second 2, I am so excited for. This one follows another person that was kind of in all those stories and around at the sex club all the time, and her name is Madam Kink. It's actually Eden, but I prefer Madam Kink. She was amazing. She helped Charlie in the first book kind of understand, what the world was and walk her through everything. She helped like everyone through every book. She was always there. She's always reliable. She's very open. She's very like, she'll talk about anything. She's just like a really sweet, supportive person. She's a great friend. I absolutely loved when she popped up in any of the books. And she's getting her own book, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to read her story because I absolutely love her, and I want to dive deeper into her character, and I want to see her be happy because she deserves the world. and I just love her. Love her, love her, love her, love her. So Ronan and Madam King are best friends. So we saw more of her in the last book I read, which was Highest Bidder. We saw more of her in that book than we did in any of the others, which I love. So they teased some things about kind of like her background and where she stands and like her personality, and I am all for it. So I think this one comes out in October. It's called Madame. She's a dominatrix, a well-established, well-versed dominatrix. And I am so excited. I'm so freaking excited because I get tired of all the male doms. Okay, it's repetitive. It gets boring. I'm just like, where are all the women? So I'm excited that we're getting another female dom. We're switching up the roles. We're doing a bunch of different stuff. I'm so excited to get into the character in her life because I absolutely adore her and she just seems like the sweetest person. The last thing I want to say about the series is, will we get more? Because there's only really one character I could think of that we've seen throughout the whole series which doesn't have a story, and that's Gio, the bartender at the club. And we did get a fair amount of him in The Highest Bidder. So I was like, is she kind of teasing a setup with Gio or a book for Gio? Which I don't know if I would be down for or not. I really can't tell. I'm just so excited about Madam. I'm just like, this is it for me. But I feel like if she came out with the 7th, I would read the 7th. Despite me being back and forth on the series as a whole, I do think that I love praise and give me more enough that I would just keep reading and continuing on. So I'm kind of hoping she does more. But it is what it is. I'll get Madame in the fall and I will be super pumped. If you've read the series, comment below what your favorite book has been. And if you haven't read the series, comment below which book has piqued your interest the most. But other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe. I post videos every Friday and recently on a lot of Tuesdays. So ring that bell for notifications so you don't miss one, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!